You're watching Around the Baseball. Please like and subscribe. We hope you enjoy the show. Here are your hosts.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Zach. This is
Around
The Bay.
4. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a pretty good show for you tonight. We got a bunch of things to talk about. We got basketball, we got soccer, as or others will call football, and some crazy trades happening in the NBA world, even some other signings that are kind of confusing as well, and a very controversial call that happened in today's match. But first, let's get started with the trades, and I'm on the spirit. No, it's back. So first with the trades, the first thing we're going to talk about right off the bat is the Jaylen Brown trade. I think this trade. So first off, for those who don't know, let me give you the full breakdown of the Jaylen Brown trade. Sorry, it's a moment to pop it up. I should have had it in the first place. Let's see. So the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics did a trade. So Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George, 2 first-round picks in 2028 and 2031, and 2 second-round picks in 2028 and 2030. I honestly think this might be one of the dumbest trades in NBA history. To me, in my honest opinion, I think this is worse than the Luka trade because Anthony Davis is at least a decent player when he's not injured, and Luka is like one of the best young stars in the NBA. But like Jaylen Brown is a Finals MVP, and Paul George is almost pretty much a washed NBA player who's not the man that he used to be. And the fact that you did this to your rival team is one of the stupidest things you can possibly do. It's just like handing someone a gun and say, "Hey, pretty much shoot me because I'm done." And this is pretty much what the Celtics did. Now all of a sudden, I'm just left again, and the Celtics just shot themselves in the foot at this point. And for their future, Paul George is not going to be the guy. I don't know why you would trade for him. I don't know why you trade to the 76ers of all teams. Like, you're trying to compete against the Knicks and teams like the 76ers, who are both in your division, who you're trying to compete against. And if you traded Jaylen Brown to, let's say, the Warriors, that would have made sense because they're not in division and they're in a different conference. And it would have made the Warriors a lot more competitive. But Mike Dunleavy is doing nothing but sticking a finger up his ass and doing jack crap. That being said, I think this is one of the worst trades ever. What do you guys think?
Do you want to go or you want me to go?
You can go. I'll go last.
Well, I have kind of a different opinion on this. Jaylen Brown never requested a trade. Boston wanted him out. Because, as you guys know, the whole, what he's, like, and of course I don't watch the streams, but it was a viral thing when he was talking about Embiid flopping. He kept mentioning about the Sixers. And all this talk, like he didn't want to request a trade. All that stuff was like poisoning the franchise in a way. So it's like, all right, might as well take the poison out and trade him since he's mentioning about the Sixers so much. Like, all right, here you go. Because the trade, I don't think the trade was just like, if they really wanted to search for Jaylen Brown, he could have maybe go to Atlanta or go to some teams that like they would have searched for teams. But I feel like this was more of a sense like, all right, since you said all that, you want to go to Philly so bad, here you go. They just take whatever the offer is, they'll take it. I mean, if they really wanted if Trey Brown requested a trade and wanted to go to Philly, then we had a whole trade. It'd be like Edgecombe, Maxey, or just Embiid, who knows? But like, it would have been a much thorough talk. This felt like, oh, okay, since you mentioned about Philly so much, all right, here you go to Philly. The trade felt like it was just kind of like grab the person and toss them out of a bar. You know, like just like, you drink too much, toss it out. That's what it feels like. What this trade feels like. Yeah, you could say it's the most terrible trade. Sure, when you look at it, but I feel like it's more of just like, oh, since all that stuff that was going on just felt like it felt like it was affecting the franchise, this great franchise. Yeah, Jaylen Brown, a hell of a player. Of course, they would have gotten so much more than they should, but I feel like it was more just like, okay, bye, because I'm like, when Jaylen was about to go to Milwaukee, that's when he was. I bet. Who knows though? But I feel like he might have was mad about that because they felt like, oh, you guys are trying to get rid of me, But I think it all started from that point, and now they just felt like, all right, you know what? We'll just take her to Philly. You mentioned it so much.
Yeah, but in response to that, you do an in-division trade. Who, by the way, those two teams and those two cities don't like each other. If he went to a different team that is not named the Knicks, the Raptors, the Sixers, or the Nets, if he didn't go to either of those teams, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But the fact is, he went to the team that they're bitter rivals with. And that's a fact. I guarantee you when Jaylen Brown heard he went to the Sixers, he was probably pissed. I get he was saying stuff like on his stream or whatever. But
like I'm saying, I feel like it's more.
This is like the equivalent. Whoever, I believe Brad Stevens is the GM, right?
Yeah.
This is he's probably likely going to get fired for this. Very, very likely. And if he doesn't, I'll be shocked if he stays on the team within like the next few years.
Because Jaylen Brown was still like confused, but I feel like if I just when I saw the trade, I'm like, what the heck? But then the more I processed it, I'm like, well, since that time, what he did on stream, I wonder just Boston was just trying to find a way to get rid of him. They want to go for Milwaukee, just go Giannis and Tatum, but Milwaukee went for the rebuild route instead of just replacing Giannis. So then they just looked. They should have looked more thorough, but I guess they just felt like maybe they just knew he mentioned Philly so much. He's like, all right, here you go, even though it's just like, huh?
I think he just doesn't like Philly.
There's that,
and there's the fact that he went to a team that he doesn't like. So will he request a trade from that team? Probably not. But if he does, what are you going to do then?
Well, ask you shall receive.
Because that would be like, I'm going to switch it to the NFL for a moment. This would be like the Niners and the Rams doing a deal together where the Rams would get Christian McCaffrey and the Niners would get, let's say this like who's a decent player, like for example Puka Nacua and like other picks or whatever. If they had done that, every Niners fan and Rams fan would be outraged. Celtics fans are beside themselves. Sixers fans don't care because they got a good player. But when a rivalry joins your team, this is kind of like how the Seahawks felt when Richard Sherman signed with the Niners, honestly. But this is just, to me, dumbest education possible. Worst trade I've ever seen in any sport, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I still agree on that fact, but the more I process it, I'm like, I just felt like it's just Boston it just seemed like they just wanted him out.
Yeah, but why I get he's saying like Philadelphia this, Philadelphia that, but just you're sending him to a place where he doesn't want to go. He's going to want to either, like, if he just like says, okay, I'll stay with the team, I guess. I think if the Sixers somehow try to get LeBron, which we're going to talk about in a moment, then he'll probably be like, okay, I'll stay. But we're not going to know that until LeBron makes his decision, whenever that'll be. But Drew, what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of want to know what's going on in Brad Stevens' mind about that trade, bro. Like the whole Celtics ownership. Like, what are you thinking in that point, bro? Like, you just traded your Finals MVP to a team that's in the division, and then and you get, like you said, you got a washed up player and a bunch of picks. Like, yeah, I get it, like he said all that stuff on his stream and stuff, but like he won you a championship, brother. Like he won you a championship. Like stuff doesn't make sense then. Like
And like the other part, I might think it's like, all right, we want to stick with Tatum and we'll go with Jalen. I guess two in this case, two does. For I guess for the Boston organization, two doesn't work. They just stick with one, so they go with Tatum.
And this will probably mean that Tatum will probably want out of Boston. By the way,
we'll see.
The thing is that like Jaylen Brown had a great season last year, and like he was like MVP talks all last year, and like this past year, and like you trade him while Tatum is like still recovering from their Achilles injury, like it just stuff does not make sense, at this point, I thought the Luka trade was terrible. Now this is probably the most terrible trade I ever seen in my life. So, I mean, it's just mind-boggling from the Boston ownership, and I'm just hoping they go to Cancun at some point.
I mean, kind of think of it. If you think of this more, the only comparison I think of just sticking with the Warriors. Remember what Bob Myers did in his first year? I know this might be a little different, but remember the Monte trade for Bogut? It's a little different, but
that trade was different though. That eventually had the Warriors win the championship.
Oh yeah, but it's like that's the difference. But you know how the crowd reacted, right? When he came out on the stage with a loud.
Oh yeah, when Monte got traded out, I was devastated. I remember exactly where I was when that happened.
But I just thinking on it, I know it's not part of the best comparison, but I felt that this what came to my mind. It's just like, in a way, as like the Boston crowd, it just feels like the boos are going to start flowing through Boston for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, clearly this is going to affect everything, but we'll see. They did make some good moves. I mean, they made some decent moves in Mitchell Robinson. Once about another trader, you could say, Mitchell Robinson signed a 3-year deal with them. And then another Knicks player that was like a reserve or at least a nice bench player, he goes to Philly as well. So it's like, all right, well, the Knicks have their money. You're like, everyone's like, all right, see ya.
But yeah, that trade's ridiculous to me. All right, next we are going to talk about. Let's see. Your topics. I'm sorry, folks. Let's see. Yes. Now we're going to talk about LeBron. LeBron, he's opted out of his contract with Lakers, and he said he's definitely done playing for the Lakers. So his favorite teams, well, no, not his favorite teams. His likely teams are going to be either the Heat, Cavs. It's probably going to be the Cavs, or even the Warriors or the Sixers that just popped up today. But I honestly think he's probably going to go back to Cleveland. If he goes to the Warriors, it'll be interesting because I feel like that's what the Warriors are trying to commit to, even though the front office is garbage at this point. And it seems like the Warriors front office doesn't even try at this point because they just want to secure Porzingis and Melton, and like they don't want to sign anyone else. Just say, hey, we got Porzingis.
Why do you think why the Warriors been quiet?
Yeah, I know, but if you miss out on LeBron, then what? You still don't have Draymond. Jimmy Butler is going to be out for probably the first half of the season, and I mean Steph's going to have like practically no help. And if someone says Podziemski in the comments, you're going to be banned from commenting in the But I think he's probably going to go to the Cavs. If he wants to win a championship, I would say go to the Heat so you can team up with Giannis. Okay, yeah, and we're going to ban ourselves apparently.
Who commented? You commented on?
No, we commented. I guess someone commented ourselves.
No, commented. Uh-oh.
But
or
Jesse.
I think he should go to the Heat with Giannis and Bam Adebayo and LeBron. I don't know who's stopping that big three, to be honest. It's like pretty decent defensively and they're pretty good offensively. But he's likely going to go to the Caps to like finish off his career and try to win a championship with Mitchell and others. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, and like I don't know what's more interesting: LeBron, James Harden, and Donovan Mitchell, or just let enemies become friend and enemies. With LeBron, Curry, which fancies do come true with Draymond, and Jimmy Butler when here comes. It just feels like, all right, isn't that weird? Like, just imagine James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and LeBron with Jared Allen and Mobley. It's a nice team, but you know how James Harden plays and how LeBron plays and how Mitchell plays. Like, you can have a lot of ISO players who want the ball. So I don't know how you're going to work that out.
And you
I
got
mean, sure, with the Warriors, semi-similar, but I feel like the flow feels more better than if you went to Cleveland. Because, like, if James Harden's out of the picture, then, of course, go to the Cavs with Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, and Mobley, and there's your team right there. But it's just like with James Harden in the midst, it's like it feels foggy to see that. I mean, of course, LeBron going to Cleveland, that's where he was from. So it's like, yeah, it just feels weird, you know.
Yeah, Drew.
I don't know. If LeBron goes to Cleveland, I get it. That's where he started his career, and like we said, team up with Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Mobley, Jerry Allen. I'm blanking some team. Max Strus. Like that's a good team, but 3 ISO players. If he goes to the Heat, he'll add Giannis and Bam. You got 2 ball dominant players like Giannis and LeBron, but you might lose Norman Powell in free agency. So
It hasn't happened. So it's
which hasn't happened yet, but
well, it did happen.
what team do you go to?
He went to the Bulls.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now I know that Norman Powell's not on the Bulls. And then the Warriors, you got Steph, Draymond, Porzingis, Melton, Horford, the Unk 5. And if he goes to Warriors, it'll be Unction. The Golden State Unk.
I saw a funny post where it's like, if it happens, like, who's going to stop this team? And it's like arthritis. Like, I thought that was funny.
He had the Unk 5. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see where he goes. We'll see where it goes. Could be his last year. We'll see. But, yeah. But stay tuned where he goes. Probably happen in a week. Could happen in a few days. But it's up to the king himself.
Yeah, it can pretty much happen at any moment now. For all even we know, it could even happen right now. But he said he's in no rush to figure out a team who he wants to sign with. But now, other news, we're going to discuss the World Cup. It's been extremely busy. There's been some upsets, some crazy moments, some very bad moments, controversial moments. There's like this. This is one of the crazier World Cups that's happened in a long time. And let's see. So far, the biggest upset in the World Cup so far was Paraguay beating Germany in the first round. That might be one of the biggest upsets in World Cup history because Germany is known to be a powerhouse every single World Cup, every single even any tournament that they're in, they're always considered a powerhouse every single time. And the fact that Paraguay beat them at penalty kicks is just pure insane. But that happened, and when I saw it, because I had Germany going to at least the Final Four for my personal bracket, which I did myself. But what do you guys think about this upset?
It is the 4th largest, ranking wise. Germany was 10, Paraguay was 40. So just think of that for a sec. 10 to 40, as Jack mentioned, Germany is kind of one of the most powerhouses of all of soccer. They've been one of the dominant countries when it comes to this level of sport. And for like a small or medium-sized country, I haven't been, but just for a country like Paraguay, I mean the fans. I don't know if you guys saw the kid just like screaming his lungs out on this country to win. Like, just the one thing about soccer is like the baby and the kid photos of just seeing the excitement and joy. Just thinking of how impactful it is for them with their own eyes to see this level of soccer for the first time. But yeah, going back, like Germany, there was a foul. I didn't see it, but I know Germany did score 2-1 last moments. And I don't know did you guys catch the game? Do you know there was like a foul it was a foul that called it back, right?
Which game?
Paraguay and Germany.
There was a Germany goal that was called back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently because of a foul. I didn't see it. I don't know if you guys saw it or no.
Yeah, I watched the game and it didn't really look like a foul though.
Didn't look a foul to me, bro.
Can you just describe it for people that maybe didn't see this? Can you describe what happened?
So they're kicking a corner, and then apparently they're kicking a corner, and they thought Germany was holding on to the Paraguay defender while he's trying to keep his head in while he's trying to do a header, and apparently it was a goal until the ref decided to go to the VAR check and see if there was a foul, and if you see in the VAR replay, it doesn't look like he pull or hit someone, but refs are just malicious at this point. Like, I don't know. I feel like they just should be banned from this World Cup if you just can't ref a good game. But that's how it happened.
Yeah, so and of course, in all of soccer and in soccer fandom, the worst thing people don't want to happen happens, and that's penalty kicks. I don't know how you can call it. It's like the Russian roulette, or is it? Because I call it like Russian roulette because one goal could either destroy your run or, of course, gives you hope. But if you're
on the momentum string.
If you're on the bad side of this, it's like a shot through the heart. Because if you watch it, it's almost like watching, like I know I just think March Madness. You know how crazy that can get when some team, like for example, Nebraska against Purdue. Oh, a shot that should have went in, but destiny just decided who should have advanced. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you watch enough soccer, you see those are like, you don't even care who you're rooting for. It's just like, that is the most aching way to lose. That's why when teams play, they try to avoid the penalty kicks and try to go out to beat one and the other. Because when you win in regulation, it feels like, you got this far. We're talking about for a team like Japan, we can talk about. But like just that, it's like, anyway, but like at the end of it all, just there was some voodoo. I feel like it was some German voodoo because Paraguay just had to score one. They missed two. Luckily, Germany missed, and then they finally got it. That, like, Germany was right there to force sudden death on like sudden death PKs, or I don't know what to call, but like,
yeah, it's pretty much sudden death.
Sudden death. 1-1 for you.
Shot for shot, basically.
So, but anyway, but just like, congrats to Paraguay. I know now they got France to deal with. They just shut out Sweden, but I just feel like for Paraguay, it's like, I feel like being Germany, it'd be crazy. You can try to be two great nations, but of soccer. But I just feel like if I was Paraguay, I'll probably still be recovering because like I just beat Germany. It's crazy. But congrats to Paraguay and wish you luck.
Yeah, I still can't believe that they won that game. It's just unreal to me because I was watching the whole game and This is very unexpected, but
The commentator was like, "Oh, like just something else like, oh, if they just scored this one, it's like, oh, they missed." And then he went like, maybe, and then it's like, oh, they did it. It's like he keeps like he's trying to like, are you trying to jinx Paraguay with this commentating? He's just like, maybe, and it's like, oh, they finally did it.
But
listen to it.
yeah, I mean, it's just something else. But also, like, there's been other great performances by like Norway, Mexico. I think honestly, here's a little topic I want to discuss with you guys. I'll go last on this. Who do you guys think is the most impressive team that's currently in the World Cup that's still like in it right now?
So we got Paraguay with France, Spain.
We got,
Spain gets
Paraguay, France, Canada, Morocco, Portugal, Spain, USA, Belgium, Brazil, Norway, Mexico, and England.
It's kind of tough with those, but the one that we'll play tomorrow is Ghana. I feel like if Ghana can beat Colombia, that would be a pretty huge win for them, and I think it'd be like a good upset for a team, at least that. Because if you think, I mean, if Cape Verde, of course, if they can somehow beat the champs, that'll be amazing. They have this whole Cinderella run, but we'll see what happens. They also play tomorrow, but I feel like, I feel like I'm gonna go with Ghana because they in the group stage entirely. They could have been one of those teams that could have been eliminated, but they survived. They draw on England, beat. They draw on England, beat.
Panama, yeah.
Panama, and had a good fight with Croatia. So I just feel like Ghana could, if they can beat Colombia tomorrow night, I feel like that would be my pick. I mean, of course, if Cape Verde somehow, they've been like the tough horse right now in soccer on a team that should be so easily beat just because of the high skill quality, but they have the energy and like the fans just powers them through. So, but anyway, I'm gonna go with Ghana. I know they haven't advanced yet, but if they do, that'll be my choice.
All right,
My surprising team, like people say Mexico, like, because they've been dominating every single game and stuff, but like I don't know, like I said in the last episode, like Mexico didn't play any comp, like in group stages against Czechia and like South Africa. They dominated those teams. That South Korea game was like technically a comp for them if the goalie from South Korea didn't make that mistake, and then they dominated against Ecuador. I mean, but Cape Verde, they've been shocking me because their fans are unbelievable. They pretty much drew Spain, which is like one of the favorites to win this whole tournament. And if they beat Argentina, then I would say them. So
if they beat Argentina, everyone's going to jump on the bandwagon and just
so
see how far they go.
But I would say those two for sure. Then.
Yeah, for me, I would say it's either Cape Verde or Mexico, because Mexico, like, people have been high on them, and every time they've played a game, it's always been a home crowd because they only play in Mexico so far. But it's just every game that they've played in, it's been by shutout. They have not allowed a single goal against any opponent that they played against. And when they play England, they'll probably allow at least one or two. But we'll see how that goes when the time comes. I believe that game's Sunday against England. But for Cape Verde, first off, I'm still upset that they tied with Spain. Just can't believe they had a draw against Spain, Spain's one of the big favorites in this one, who plays against Portugal next. And I just like the way they've been playing. I believe in them. If they could pull off a major upset against Argentina, that would be completely massive, and my word would have been right about Argentina being a one-and-done team. But honestly, I kind of know what to expect them for the game, but I'm hoping that Cape Verde pulls it off.
The goalie, though. That
With a
goalie,
population of only 500,000 people, it's just insane to me.
Oh,
the
you know what
goalie though.
you know what their nickname is?
No,
Why
The Blue Sharks.
the Blue Sharks?
That I don't know, but when each game goes, I'm assuming. Well, each team goes, you see what each country what they go by their nickname, and I just thought it was kind of cool that their name is the Blue Sharks. But I feel like maybe they just call it. You can see how the way they've been fighting. They
Yeah.
could have gone like Curacao. You know, I mean, they didn't make it, but it's like Curacao and Capo Verde could be similar, but Curacao had the death lineup. Well, sure. I mean, Capo Verde kind of had a pretty tough one, but when they tied Spain, it was just like, okay, let's get out of this group, and here they are. So,
yeah, I would say Cape Verde and Mexico for me. So
I'll go Capo Verde and Ghana.
Cape Verde and Mexico for me.
Draws and twos. Let us know in the comments what's your upside or who you feel like that. What's your team, pretty much? What's your team?
If they beat Argentina, then I would say Cape Verde.
Yeah.
But for now, it's Cape Verde and Mexico.
So far, I realized though I could get England and Spain in the final.
Yeah, that was actually my prediction of my championship.
It could happen. I know some people might think England some people out there might think England's a little overrated. I mean, sure, they have the one long drought. They haven't won since like the '60s. So yeah.
Well, they didn't play good against Congo yesterday. So
yeah, they've struggled in kind of like all the opponents that England has like played against.
I mean, playing Mexico is a different environment.
I got first question going back to the LeBron topic. Other
Probably
than
Cleveland. Probably Cleveland.
where would the
Yeah,
Kings?
like I mentioned earlier, it's probably going to be either the Heat or the Cavs. I heard the Celtics might be in the mix also. Oh, no, not the Celtics. The Sixers might be in the mix. But I think he's probably going to go to the Cavs.
I'm gonna say the Cavs if he's not with the Warriors.
Yeah,
So
probably have to agree.
and then Kawhi got traded too to the Raptors.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he should go to the Heat. Go from where he really started building where the career really started to build.
What, he turned to Miami, the prime of Ron?
Yeah, I mean, if I know
Unstoppable.
you mentioned about the white ball dominant, but I would say Miami because right now Miami needs some. I know these re-signed Andrew Wiggins. Haven't made much moves because they don't have so much. They don't have a lot of cap due to the trade. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will. And I believe this will be our possible final topic. We'll probably get more into it. But there is a match today between Croatia and Portugal.
Ooh, good question.
Ooh, good question. That's a good question.
So how do you?
Well, I'll start with this one. When Curry retires, it's going to be a hard time for Warriors fans because there's like many people that were like bandwagons that came in that joined the Warriors and liked the Warriors because of Steph Curry because he like changed the entire game. But I think there's going to be a lot of less Warrior fans. I'm still going to be I'm going to be a Warriors fan until
I'm still a Bucks fan.
Until I die.
I'm
not going to stop. I'm not going to stop rooting for them. I rooted for the Warriors without Steph Curry. I'll root them when Steph even retires. But it's going to be a hard time. I think recruiting will be different. The coaching will be different. And the Warriors are going to have to find the next young star to be the face of the franchise because right now in the Warriors, there's no future young star. You could argue about like the Yaxel guy, but we don't know how he's going to be yet because he hasn't played his first year in the season yet. If he has a promising first season, like if he somehow gets Rookie of the Year or something like that, I'm not. Those aren't my expectations for him, but I'm just saying that to be a possibility. Then that would be very nice. But for now, dark days are probably going to be ahead of us Warrior fans when he retires.
All right. Before we get into that next question, continue what you sent us. So yeah, I guess for the Warriors this season, depend LeBron, no LeBron. If it's LeBron, we'd probably at least maybe a low playoffs or at least in the play-in. Just depends on injury and health. As for the future, as you say, without Curry, it's going to. I mean, like for Milwaukee, I know we trade Giannis, so it's a little different. But like Milwaukee's kind of now starting early with this whole young chapter, pretty much. As for the Warriors, when Curry eventually hangs up his career, it's kind of foggy because it just depends. It's like kind of do what the Bucks did, but just the way when Curry retires, in the sense of Curry retiring, just kind of start a new chapter. Try like get new coaches, new players. As we know, this won't be until probably like year 2030 something maybe. So we'll see how it is. So yeah, it's a bit foggy. I mean, I won't expect it to be like, oh, Curry's out, and it's like we win a championship in the next like 3 years after that. I just feel kind of like, wait, already? And then we have this whole discussion about Curry and all that. So it's foggy for me on when he's out. Of course, it'll be definitely like a torch gone in like the NBA pillars of like this of the like the mid 2000s. So it's like it's kind of like torch coming out at least for the NBA because then without with Curry, LeBron, and Durant, it's like it's kind of tough to really watch basketball without him.
Yeah, Warriors this season with LeBron, probably playoff team. Without him, probably playoff like play-in spots. So it'll be like somewhere in the plans. And then in terms of future of Curry, I was a Warriors fan before Steph Curry was on the team. Obviously, I was watching the We Believe years, and year before that, like where games were $20 and parking was more than the actual ticket, cost more than the actual ticket. So I think it's gonna be hard for sure, but it's gonna be heartbreaking. It's gonna be dark days, but we'll see though.
Yeah, like as I mentioned, like I'm just connecting just with Curry. As for the Warriors, who knows? But like I just think for NBA wise, it's going to be like a torch, the last torch out.
Oh, we got another question.
Yeah, but going to your other question, you said so. Since the Warriors aren't trading Butler, how do you think they could lure LeBron into the Bay?
I think Steph Curry is going to have to like really, really convince LeBron to join the Warriors. And LeBron has been saying for a long time how he's been like wanting to like how much he loves playing with Steph. Like when it came to like Team USA basketball. So I think if LeBron could join the Warriors, I think they could be a great duo together. The recruiting will be more interesting. I don't know. I think with the combination of Steph and LeBron, maybe more free agents will want to join the Warriors, but I just don't think we have the front office people to get it done, to be honest. Like, if Draymond does wind up signing with another team, then that will mean LeBron's not coming to the Warriors. That's just my honest opinion.
Well, thank you, Mr. Munchie. Is that what it is? That's
Mr. Munchie, 321.
Thank you for laying down these comments. We really appreciate it. It helps us kind of keep this stream going and keep the flow going. Try to build like good questions and answers. For anyone else is watching, feel free to ask some questions of our topics or just something up in mind about sports that we haven't gotten to yet. But so.
Do you guys want to answer?
Drew, you want to go?
Yeah, I can go. LeBron did say he'll take a veteran minimum deal. So if we offer him that, he'll take it. It's like Jack said, it just depends on recruiting. It's like college sports, how you recruit 4 or 5 stars. It's like kind of like that. So, but.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking what Jack would say. I feel like Curry's going to call LeBron like last minute. Like, come on, man. He's like trying to make, because if you've seen these two guys like talk, it's just like they're just brothers in a way. It's just like the way they talk. So I feel like it was like a conversation, just like, come on, man. Like let's do it. Like something like that. And LeBron last month, like, all right, why not? Or, you know, or yeah, I'm kind of going with what Jack said pretty much. Just like Curry might just try to get involved a little bit, try to convince him enough, not try to fully push it because LeBron decides where he wants to go. But hopefully, at this point now, it's up to Curry. And since you heard me about mentioning the torch, after he retires, who do you think will become that shooter in the East?
Honestly,
or West?
it could be Axel, it could be even though Jay Jones, it could be anyone. We don't really have a bright future young star on the team. I just don't think we have it. I don't even know if we can afford like even any of them want to come to the Warriors. Like there's like certain teams that have young stars, like Luka on the Lakers, Anthony Edwards on the T-Wolves, Cade Cunningham on the Pistons, Jalen Brunson. I think he's still pretty young on the Knicks. All these guys have future young stars on the team that can excel in the league, which Jalen Brunson did by winning a championship. The Warriors don't have that luxury. They're, I think, the oldest team by age in the NBA. If they sign LeBron, they're officially the oldest team in NBA history. And I don't know what the median age would be or something similar to that. But the Warriors need to try to get more young guys. And so far, they're not attracting more young guys. And they're mainly getting young guys only by the draft and not in free agency. And it's just, I'm really concerned with this front office. I think next season, if the Warriors come like in the play-in, they come short or whatever. And first off, them signing Steve Kerr, I kind of have an issue with that because I mean I like Steve Kerr. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like you want to try to push and look forward to something for the next season. And so far, there's no case for that coaching, front office, or roster-wise. You still have your same guys. You haven't really brought anyone in. You're losing guys at the same time. You just lost Pat Spencer today, who was like a decent bench guy. But I think once next season's over with, they hit the reset button, get rid of like a bunch of the roster, restructure a few contracts, fire Mike Dunleavy, and if it happens, then get rid of Steve Kerr. You were talking to that one coach from University of Florida. You could talk to him, maybe get some recruiting from that, like a younger coach. And I mean, I just don't get why the Warriors are one of the more successful franchises since we've been alive, and they've won like a bunch of championships, and yet not all free agents are like knocking on the door, saying, hey, I want to sign with you guys. I don't get why NBA players will do that. I mean, they're trying to compete, but it's just certain other things. But I don't know. But then out for the great shooter.
Oh,
I think I've thought for a long time the Warriors should have tried to go for Trae Young, and Trae Young would have been Steph Curry's successor. But now he's in DC, so the Warriors can't do that. So honestly, I see the Warriors' future being pretty dark.
Who's a great should be after Curry? That's what he's saying.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying it would be like Trae Young is he's a good shooter, but I want it like for when a certain player is about to retire, you want a successor. The Warriors don't have a successor for Steph Curry. They don't. They might have a successor for Draymond, like Axel, but it's just there's no one to take. No one can do what Curry does. The closest guy to do it is like James Harden. Then he's going to retire soon, and I think he's a free agent. You could sign him. I don't know, but we're getting a bunch of more questions. But it's just,
keep laying it on. We'll answer.
yeah. But I don't know who the next great shooter could be. It could be Con Knipple. If he gets tired of being on the Hornets, maybe you could try to get him. I wanted the Warriors to try to get him out of the ball, but he goes to the T-Wolves of all teams, and I don't know. It's I'm not excited for the Warriors' future.
So yeah, as if Curry retires, who do you think will take the torch? And I'm assuming, I guess he's assuming at least the keys, right? Is that what he's trying to? Is that what he's trying to reference? What do you mean by that?
He's trying to say he's a good shooter after Curry, basically. He's a next great shooter after Curry.
Oh, okay. As you said, as Jack mentioned a lot, Trae Young. I mean, when he started, he was like, "Hold up, this guy's shooting from Curry range." We thought Curry was the only one that could do that, but Trae Young started to shoot the range. I mean, it'd be nice if Lillard was kind of on a good pace. I would have felt like I feel like he would be a good one. I mean, no Dame time. I feel like he could have been it, but as you know, he probably retired maybe before or a little after him. But I feel like if I pick one, I would say Trae Young. And as for the East and for the West, I mean, if we think like down the line, heck, you could say like an Austin Reeves. If I just want to go a little bold here, I could say Anthony Edwards, yeah, but I feel like Austin Reeves, seeing him so far, he's been quite the shooter for the Lakers. He just signed a 4-year max deal, so it's like he's definitely can shoot when you see him play. So I feel like just make a bold prediction for the West. I'll say Austin Reeves.
I don't know. Take the torch.
Maybe still on it.
I don't know. Like you could say Trae Young. You could say Con Knipple. Anthony Edwards, or Dame Lillard. That's like, four of the great shooters that's been doing well. But to answer this question,
since the league changed the drafts, if you are a play-in team, having a better chance at landing a better pick, if the Warriors won OKC season, do you think
they got a lot of top 10 players?
Are we talking about like in free? Oh no, you're talking about draft specific.
The draft, like the NBA draft.
The Warriors had the 11th. The lottery is mainly by luck. That's how the Wizards pretty much got the first pick. It was because of luck. It's not like how the NFL. It's like in specific order, which I think they should do. To make more sense and it's more fair that way. But can the Warriors get a top 10 pick? Probably. They had the 11th pick, so they came really close. But I'm not saying the Warriors should get in the play-in, but look at how the Sharks are like doing their offseason. They're signing guys. They're drafting like crazy. They're doing trades. They've got balls. The Warriors front office doesn't. They got none.
I know Jess was here.
He likes to sit on his ass, not make like ballsy signings. Like learn from the Sharks. Learn from San Jose. That's my main suggestion because they've been drafting like crazy, and they've been playing it really smart. And they're a team that's going to be young and really, really good. And I hear Sharks are probably going to win the Stanley Cup, hopefully before the end of the decade. So learn from the Sharks. Otherwise, can they get a top 10 pick? Probably. But you'd have to like trade with a team.
Bad.
With a team that's either really crappy or you got to be crappy. That's just how it is.
Yeah, because in case people didn't know, due to a lot of people purposely having bad seasons to get bad picks, Silver did a kind of like almost like a blockade in a way on CERN to prevent people to try purposely tank. I don't know the whole entire rules, but as you mentioned, like if a certain team goes bad, but I don't have the whole story, but it's like it's kind of a blockade to prevent people from purposely tanking. Except for like Bucks, we are choosing to take this route, so we gotta like kind of have to be a little careful. Like we have to, of course, try to win these games, but while as well trying to at least get a good pick at the same time, trying to weave through that. But as you mentioned about will the Warriors can have an okay season, could it happen? As Jack mentioned, it just really depends on how okay it can get. Because if we're going to be in the lottery, maybe not. Because unless you got to get draft capital in order to do that, you got to do a totally different move unless some team calls you up and wants this for this, then might be a different story. So for me, I would say no, because it it just really depends on the output of the seasons.
For me, just it's kind of hard with the whole tanker rules thing, and then like Jack said, luck. You know, the whole NBA lottery thing. You know, you gotta be super lucky to do that. But we'll see though, because we could maybe do that, like the Clippers did. You know, they were in the play-in team and ended up being top 5 this year's draft. So, but it's just depend on luck.
I'm trying to figure out I don't know if it's an edit comment or is it two separate questions?
No, it's the same. It's the same question.
It's the same question. I just sent it twice.
Okay. So,
Same.
yeah. Last one. Who are your top 5 scary teams throughout this offseason based on the signings of the free agency and, of course, the NBA draft? Mine might be the Wizards. They're looking a little scary with now they got Diabonsa, of course, Trae Young, AD if he's healthy, but they have a young team. So we got probably watch out for the Wizards in the near future because I say that would be my one, just the way that future. For 2,
I don't know what that means, but
okay, I mentioned Trae Young. Number 2, you guys can go as I think that, but my one for sure, I'll say Wizards.
one team I think is probably Sixers with the whole Jaren Brown thing. They got who they get? Jaren Brown. They got I mean that team. Depending on how healthy Embiid is, you got VJ, Maxey, and then and then Dean Wade just got signed to Sixers. So you got they could be compete with the Knicks and but I don't know the other 4 team would be.
Yeah, I guess my 2 and 3 will probably be Philly, just the way the trade happened. 3, I want to say like the Spurs, just because since they got to the finals, I know they haven't done crazy signings, but they already have a good team as is. I mean, they even drafted a player from North Carolina that I heard that was kind of the steal of the draft. So we'll see how that progresses. So I say Wizards, Spurs. Wizards, Philly, Spurs. 4, I'll say Miami, depending on what's going on with them. Just thinking Bam and Giannis, and if they got Tim Hardaway, if they can and they got Andrew Wiggins still around, so it's like if they can get some additional, it could be a little scary. And then 5, I would say the Knicks. They won the title, so New York would be that crowd. The mafia, the fans. Not the mafia in New York, but they're crazy enough they destroy the whole city, win or lose. So I would say New York, because Brunson. There's a lot of doubt on him, a 2nd-round draft pick, and now he shut all the haters up about him because he won a title. So yeah, that'll be my 5.
Yeah, for me, mine's a little more different. I would say this isn't in chronological order, by the way. I'm just going to name 5 teams. So one of the teams for me is the Knicks. They haven't really lost much. They did lose Mitchell Robinson, which I think is okay, even though he went to the Celtics for some reason. Another signing that doesn't make any sense to me. But another team that concerns me is the Sixers because of the addition of Jaylen Brown. With him, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid, that's a big 3. Really good big 3 if Jaylen Brown wants to stay in the on the 76ers. So that's one. Another one is Miami. How many have I named so far? This is 3, right?
3.
Okay. They kind of concern me because with the addition of Giannis and Bam Adebayo, but the only issue I have with the Heat, they have no bench. If you look at their roster, they have maybe 8 guys on the 8 guys in the entire roster. So they kind of scare me, but at the same time they don't. Actually, I'm gonna push them out. Instead, I'm gonna put in OKC because they drafted the best defensive player in the draft with Adai Mara, which I think it is criminal that they drafted him. I think it's just absurd that no one else took him. I think it's kind of crazy that the Warriors didn't take him. But the Warriors took the guy that they wanted, so there's that. But Yaxel getting drafted Adai Mara getting drafted to the OKC Thunder is insane to me. And with that and their defensive team and the way they play, I wouldn't be surprised if OKC turns out to get to the championship next season. Let's see. I'll say Minnesota because I think Minnesota is going to look very interesting next season because of the duo of LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards. I think that's a great offensive duo. It's just their defense is going to be a little concerning, so there's that to worry about. But I think they've, for the past few years, they've been getting close every single time. But I think this time they're either going to make it or just be short again. And another team that no one's really talked about is the Portland Trailblazers. I think this team could come out of nowhere. And with the addition of Ja Morant and with Damian Lillard sitting out an entire season and with him coming back and with how Danny Avdija is playing, I think they can be not like a playing team, but they're going to be like a top 5 team in the West, I believe. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. I think Ja Morant's going to be – he's usually not the leader guy, but he's going to have to be smart, obviously. But I think Damian Lillard is going to have a great season. And I just think we're going to be in a big surprise for Portland. But let's see. Now as for
have you thought of yours?
What team I said Philly. I'm gonna say Trailblazers too because they got John Morant. That trade was crazy. With him, Dame Lillard, Jrue Holiday, Danny Avdija. That's a great team. Honestly, Knicks. They haven't really lost a lot of guys. So I think they'll still be a contender. I know Lakers signed a bunch of people, but I'm not gonna say them. I want to say, the Raptors got Kawhi though, but you just can't depend on him this whole entire season. This whole entire, I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting year for the Raptors because but the Heat, for example, like Jack said, no bench. No depth, but Blazers, Sixers, Knicks, Thunder, they re-signed. Now, I don't think they lost. They barely lost any guys. They still retained a lot of people. They got Mora, Ben Sturts. They got Ortega Owe, from the draft. So I think them, and then what's my last team?
Well, name the teams that you mentioned so far.
First 10 pops in your mind. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, I'm gonna say and then probably Spurs because they've been pretty good.
And the Cavs are the good team that goes in this playoffs. All right.
What about 76ers depth because they lost most of their depth.
So since you mentioned Kawhi, you wants to know why about what's with all the talks of Kawhi.
Because people overhyped Kawhi Leonard about him rejoining the Raptors because they won in 2019 against the Dubs. But with Kawhi Leonard, how injury prone he can be, I don't see Kawhi Leonard going to the championship with the Raptors. Him and Scotty Barnes are a great duo. Don't get me wrong. But you also traded away Brandon Ingram, who could have been another key part of that. But you had to include it was either going to be Barnes or Ingram.
He's worried about the Sixers' depth. They lost most of their bench.
I guess I'm just thinking that since when Kawhi didn't know where he was going to go to, and then he decided to join the Raptors, it was oh, that's a little interesting. And then it's they met the Warriors that was trying to get something going, and unfortunately, so just excitement. So I guess people just think, oh, it could happen again. But in the way this NBA is, I'm just not seeing that. Congrats, Kawhi's going up north, but as trying to do something that's happened quite some time now, it is a big story of the run they did, but I don't think it's going to run back. I mean, we'll probably see them in the playoffs, but I don't think it's going to run. I don't think that's going to run back. I see, because we mentioned about the Sixers so much, thinking there's a lot of hype, but you do say that you're actually worried about it because of the depth. I mean, they signed a free Simons. I mean, that was a pretty big signing. I mean, yeah, I mean, I could see why you could say that. Well, as you know, free agency still goes on for another week or so, so we'll keep you guys updated and see if Philly Philly gets LeBron, and here's the big five,
World Cup.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you for all the comments. People are watching. Just don't be afraid. It could be if there's a sport we're not mentioning that's been going on, like for example, the Tour de France. If any guys are like a cyclist
or F1
and mention about their F1, let us know.
Yeah, and if anyone, let's see, they lost Brian's. Yeah, Kelly Oubre got signed with the
Pacers
on like a 2-year deal, and I heard Ben Simmons might come back. But if I'm telling you, if the Warriors sign Ben Simmons,
as a veteran,
I'm gonna skip
as
next
a veteran, season. As a veteran,
I promise you, I will just skip next NBA season and not watch it. If you swear, I will lose my freaking mind if the Warriors were to sign Ben Simmons. But anyways, is there anything else, guys, or is that it?
Well, let's go back to our topic about
World Cup.
All the comments. Okay.
We appreciate the comments. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for all the comments.
Thanks for the comments. Appreciate it.
I think he actually is. But okay, now going back to the World Cup. But this will be our last topic. So today there was a game between Croatia and Portugal, and it was a good game all around, and it was close pretty much all game, and it was like the 90th plus, like, I'm not sure what minute it was.
100 something. It was
100 something minute. It was like that far in, like near the end of the game, and it was like in the final seconds, so like a kick happens, and it's like supposedly it was like a header off the guy's head, and then it kicks in, and then the guy scores, and the Croatia crowd is losing their minds. All the players in the Croatia bench are storming the field in like celebration. And then all of a sudden they're like, we're going to go to a VAR review. And they do that. They take a look, and then they say the guy was offside. The guy who tried to do the header touched the ball allegedly, and the guy was offsides while it happened. I watched the replay very, very carefully. I watched it from all angles, and I don't give a damn what no one says. I don't care like what anyone says here. Look at this, look at that. I looked at him, and the guy did not touch him. This was a blown call for Croatia. Croatia was robbed. I'm not saying this because I'm part Spaniard and I don't like this is Portugal, because like since Portugal and Spain are next to each other, that means I don't like Portugal. Okay. But Portugal still like deserved to win this game because they had Ronaldo who scored that penalty goal. He didn't that. But it's just it shouldn't have gone to extra. And I think it's one of the worst calls I may have ever seen in soccer. And you can't make that kind of a call when the game's damn near about to end. It's just absolutely insane to me. And let's see. There was a small possibility that Messi. No, Spain's going to kick their ass. Anyways,
and first
it's one of the worst calls I've ever. I've played a lot of soccer too, and I've seen bad calls. I've seen bad calls going to soccer games, but this one takes the cake, and the refs should be ashamed of themselves. And also, when these two guys are done talking about this, I got something to say about the ref for the U.S. against USA.
I was thinking just going to add with this, like just in general, what's been happening with FIFA.
What's happened to refs?
But yeah, I didn't see I was at work, but just saying, 2-1. I just figured, okay, it must have been a good game, which it was. Looking at the highlights, but then my dad explained to me of what happened. I'm like, I see it. So pretty much, corner set piece. It hit the Croatian player, like just a little quick like back pass off the head. And the Croatian player, like I know, like they say it's like inadvertently, but like so he touches it and it bounces on the. So usually, if it, let's just say, of course, if that didn't touch a player, clearly it was offsides and then we just let it be. But in this certain situation, it he just does like just a back header pretty much, but then it touches a Portugal player. Usually, then offsides don't matter since it touched the defender as the ball goes. Usually, you drop that. As you know, they looked at it and I guess they went by first decision. I guess they just want to make this quick. Because, we have speaking of game, we have a game that's been happening right now. Algeria and Switzerland in Canada. Not sure what the score is, but that's going on.
It's 2-0 Switzerland.
All right, so Swiss being quite a dominant team as of late. Looking quite dominant. Algiers a pretty good team though. Continuing on, but yeah, that's just like what the heck. So it started to get me thinking like something's going on with not all the officiating, but there's just been this little trend of the late of like certain calls that felt like they should just drop.
Yeah, this thing with the FIFA refs is like their corruption has been going on for decades.
We thought the paragraphs it's definitely one. It's coming one to talk about for a while, and like Verde.
Which mentioned it earlier, being one of the bigger upsets of all time. But okay. So now, Drew, do you got something to
say? First of all,
after the ball tracking system was registered for the Portugal players' touch.
Interesting. First of all, the Paraguay game, made me upset because I'm German, so it disappointed me. And then in terms of the refs, they've just been bad. Like, just been bad. Like Jack mentioned, the red card. They've just been bad with refs and the VAR system. It's just horrible. With the addition of the hydration break, like I don't know, it's just not a good flow of football or soccer, you call it America. But to answer the question about the Messi Ronaldo playing quarterfinals, that's not going to happen because they have to play each other in the finals. By the way, if you do the brackets, if you look at the brackets, but yeah, I mean, I don't like seeing like replays, determine the outcome at the last second. I wish that wasn't a thing, but it's just that the ref's been terrible this whole tournament. So
I won't say all of them, but there has most of them, and I guess there just has been moments where like the game's over, you don't have to look at it. Yes, the player did that, like. Just like it don't matter because it's like they're done anyway. Don't point out to tag them on a card. Just like I know it's your due diligence to do the job. I'm like, if it's already about to be over and the team's down like 2 to 5 goals, there's really no point.
Yeah, exactly. Like this doesn't make sense.
But this is an interesting comment that you think about what's wrong with FIFA. You think there's a little racism involved.
Yeah, there kind of is.
So
I wouldn't say racism.
I wouldn't say there's no racism.
I don't want to say racism, but I feel like favoritism.
Well, sometimes you guys might not see it, but it's kind of out. It's out there. Like some refs don't like these like certain countries, and like they do everything they can to call it for the other side, or if they're from that country, they try to call it for them as much as possible. But usually the refs so far that I've noticed have not been from either country. It's been like from
that's just how they do
one or one that's not even in the World Cup.
That's just how they do things. That's just how it is. I mean, I see what you're saying, but for me watching as much soccer too, I feel like they've been doing that. Like you will see a US against like Canada, but you get a ref from like Ecuador or like Ireland or Switzerland. And it's like don't try to assume since this ref is this country, he's going to try to favor his job. the ref is going to see how he sees it, and yet with fans and refs, just think of like sports in general, the NFL, the NBA. Fans' eyes, fans yell at refs every time in the NBA when they make a bad call, but they're just doing their job and they just see how it sees. And yes, it falters one side just because of this call. I get it. But that's just almost like the love of sports. What would be the point of criticizing someone? Because then you go to a whole different thing, and it would just go a whole different thing, and then it's just then it ruins it. And then get all these heated exchange and da 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 da. So it's just like, the way that is just how it is. It's always been like that since they've been doing this. Who knows? I don't know. They took it back when they first did it in the Uruguay in the 1930s. Who knows? But just for the time I've seen soccer, and like even a U.S. ref will coach a Hispanic league of Mexico and like Uruguay or something, and it'll be like, what? You could think since he's American, he's going to try to like force a draw. Like, it's not like that. As you mentioned about corruption, I mean, there's a whole documentary actually about FIFA in general. I forgot what it's called, but when I was watching that, you can feel like almost like the greediness or just the corruption. That's just how FIFA's been as of late through the years. I forgot what the documentary's called, but anyway, if I'm just saying like racism, I think that's a little too far. I don't want to go there, but that's for anyone's opinion. But for me, like, I don't want to go with the racism about corruption. Sure, maybe a little bit, but like, well, I did say that as a lot in general. You want to talk about FIFA?
I see more so the corruption's definitely there.
But
There could be some refs like being bribed. There was a bunch of refs. There's literally an article about this. If you type it in, like about refs and accepting bribes, even in like the FIFA company also about accepting bribes. So there is corruption going on. There's no doubt about that.
corruption.
Not about the
like,
racism.
If you go this whole racism, that's stretching it. For me, that seems like I feel like it's a little stretch, but anyone's opinions matter. So, yeah, that's my talk on that. But anyway, I mean, like, just make a tune this on a little further. That like the team that like I always root for is Japan. That is the cruelty of sports. They had a good. They were up. They scored first. I don't know, like 30th minute or 60th minute. I don't know, but Japan scored first on Brazil, a team that's been practically like the Boston Celtics of FIFA. You know, they've held the most titles in the World Cup span right now, and they haven't won since 2002. We'll see what happens this year. But it's like Japan, a team that people don't really talk too much about, but you hear the name and you know how they play, and it's just that was the cruelty of sports. It was like 1-0. And then Brazil scored 60th minute, tried to like at least get this to at least avoid extra or at least score an extra and avoid penalties. But it's just Japan. Like, there's so much honor in that team. I don't know if you saw like the coach.
Well, yeah, honor is literally their entire their entire code. That's who they are, and that's what they've been doing since the beginning of time.
And like Croatia, my dad, when he saw the game, he loves, like, that's why I love Croatia too. They fight, like they fight. And yes, they got screwed by the many other teams from cards or calls get screwed, but they fought to the end and they had chance to at least get this game alive. And it's just unfortunate. And now, in case you know, that player that was quite a star, that's it. That might be it for him because the next World Cup is until the 2030s. And usually, if you've been in this long enough, kind of it's time to like hang it up. But that's for them to decide. Like Ronaldo and Messi, for example, since now they're alive. Well, we'll see about Messi tomorrow, but. They're like, yeah, so it's like this kind of like this also this like a World Cup. It's like, and this is like it, like Ronaldo, Messi, and like all these like legends of the current legends of this soccer. You gotta enjoy while it lasts because who knows we're gonna see him next. Like, of course we see him in like MLS and wherever it plays. When it comes to the World Cup, this could be the last. So enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. All right. Before we go. I'm going to mention this Balogun situation. So Balogun got a red card against Bosnia in their last match yesterday. I think that one was a load of crap because if those you saw, he like accidentally steps in the guy's ankle, and the ref assumed that it was like completely intentional. But thing is, like the guy's ankle was like down this way, but Balogun was looking way that way. So, I think that ref's definitely corrupt. Why? Because he actually has the reputation of doing crazy wild cards.
I did saw.
And there is an article of that coming up, and the fact that FIFA is still not investigating this to me is kind of insane. Because he has a reputation of just handing out red cards, like literally like they're candy. And he's like a fixed ref, and he did it in like another league. And now that they for some reason welcomed him to the World Cup. He probably practiced his way to get there because otherwise, why would you do it for that kind of ref? And he decided to say, no, screw you. And even though you're the host, we're still going to find a way to screw you over. Even if you beat Bosnia, you got to try to beat Belgium without your best striker on the team. Because Pulisic has been struggling, and Balogun has scored more goals than anyone on Team USA. And the fact that now USA is without him, it's pretty bad. So Pulisic is going to have to step up in that game. But I think the fact that you led this ref into the World Cup shows the corruption.
Like, there's sure, that's where the little corruption is, but like that ref in general, he did coach a game or two. Drew, you can have your take on this real quick. Sorry to keep you in the silent there, but
no, you keep going.
Like you want to talk about like a little corruption, it's like there you go. But that ref in general, you mentioned the article, they're like they noticed. Of course, I don't know why they're going to investigate. We'll see, and there's going to maybe see what happens. But as we know, who knows? But like that ref, there's definitely something fishy going on. And sure, you could take it from the tippy top, or you can, or maybe they'll just kick him out. Who knows? Drew, what's your?
I think that ref should not be allowed to ref any more USA games. So, or any games. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, 4th of July is coming up, so hopefully, have a safe 4th of July. It could be incidents, but yeah.
This will be the last of the round of 32s. This Saturday round 16 kicks off. Only 2 games though, but 4 in total. But in this weekend, 3 right. We got 3 tomorrow, 3 Saturday. No, that's it, and then 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday, and then round 16 we go. Jack, take us away.
Yeah, give me a quick moment. For those of you who are wondering who this ref is, sorry, my Google's acting pretty slow. Let's see. Right now, I am currently. Hold on, this will take a quick moment.
And we'll be right back.
Okay, I just put a link into the comments section. Let's see, hopefully it pops up at some point. I don't know why it's not going to do. At some point, if you can see it on my personal YouTube account, I posted a link about the ref and how he was even investigated when he was refereeing in Brazil, and how he was also like caught doing that stuff, and he was like suspended or banned or anything similar to that. And now the fact that they just let him into the World Cup is just pure insane. But check out the link when you can. If it's not there, I will post it on our story. And besides that, that is the end of our podcast. And we hope you enjoyed this one. And we will see you next week. Have a good night, folks.